how you did. Susan Scott says that these are what she calls errors, less than effective ways to address a tough conversation. So one is like, so how's it going? Where do you go from there? What Susan Scott says is everyone recognizes that's a trap. And so I'm not going to make it easy. I'm going to go, great, I thought that lesson was amazing. That was probably one of, are there Oscars for lessons? Because that was awesome. And you're like, oh my God, I was just gonna say that was the worst lesson I ever saw. So how do you bridge now to that? That's a tough transition, right? When they just said that. So it's disarming. And so what she says is, this is really very dishonest. The Oreo cookie is when someone comes in and says, so I want to talk to you about the lesson. I want to thank you for being at the door when the kids walked in. That was great. During the lesson, there was really no learning. It was chaos. It was like, WWF, kind of like all the, but you did have an exit ticket. And I appreciate that. Good job with the exit ticket. So, the teacher leaves and and all of her friends like, what was that? What did she say? Because everyone's like, you gotta see the principal. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, well, I think I'm pretty good actually. The ratio was like 2 to 1. It was good. Then it was like she was a little concerned in the middle, but then it was like really good. So I think I'm golden. I'm fine. And again, she says this is dishonest. Too many pillows. We do that in education. We make things soft. So, gosh, I know some days it's a little chilly outside, and you don't always have a chance to talk to each other. But when you're out at recess and on the playground, if you could not cluster, like that and talk. Yesterday, someone had sex under the monkey bar. So if you could just spread out, if you could, at least spread out every once in a while, and stay in your stations. Remember, I made you that map. Remember the map? If you could stay there, I would be. And they're like, yeah. So the next day, you look out the window and you're like, what? They're all talking about you, right? They're like, can you believe they're on their stupid map? So they're, but you put all these pillows around it, people feel like it's an option.
Right.
So a lot of times what I find, what frustrates us, is we say things so softly. Golly, if you could be in the hallway between, there's been, lots of news. If you could just, and then you're like, pissed because you walk through the hall like, no one listens to me, no one listens to me. And say it. Like, say it. Come out from behind yourself. Writing a script, she says, if we're too overly scripted, we're not present. And Machine Gun Nelly is like, brat, brat, brat. This is when you have saved it up for so long. And the person comes in like, and you don't do your lessons, and you don't do it, and they're like, kush, kush, kush. They're like, whoa. Because, at that point, you are so tipped that you just unload and they can't take it. And what people have to do is protect themselves so after the first 2 blows, they don't hear anything you say. She says there's a better way. And I have used this to great effect. And what I provided for you in your packet is a little outline that would help you structure a conversation in the event that you should need to have a tough one. She says first, we have to name the issue. What is the problem? That's what I predict you will struggle most, where you will struggle most. Because there's often, problems are like Velcro. Lots of stuff sticks to it. Like, well, what is if you really got to the very heart, to the core, what is the problem? State the problem and a specific example to illustrate the problem. Don't go on and on and on and on because people start to shut down. Like this and this. Describe your emotions. I'm worried. I'm frustrated. I'm concerned for you. Clarifies what's at stake. If this isn't getting done, this may not happen. Identify your contribution. Now this is very interesting to me because many times people say to me, yeah, but if I do that, then they like go to the union and say, well, you even admitted it's your fault. So there are things where you're going to admit that you had some contribution, maybe in others that you don't, but this conversation is geared toward a solution. I'll give you an example. I was doing this with in South Jersey, and a principal came up to me and says, I know exactly what it is. My art teacher, I have looked the other way while she has hoarded for years and years and years. She takes things out of the trash can, she saves it in case there's a project. Her room is a fire hazard, and I am not exaggerating. I have to do something, and my contribution is I said nothing. Year after year after year, I said nothing. And he said, I should have talked to you about this earlier. Indicate your wish we need to work on this. And now I want to hear from you. Bless you. When I have gotten myself centered and prepared for conversations like this, indeed, I can deliver it in 60 seconds. And open myself up to hear, to take in what the person has to say. Because if I'm so busy thinking about what am I going to say, what am I going to say next, see, I'm very clear. The clarity that comes from kind of drafting, if you will, how you're going to proceed through the conversation has been a real gift for me. It's allowed me to be truly present and work on a resolution. Now, not every problem is going to lead toward an interest in a resolution. So when I worked with a tech director who was taking down the firewall to import porn, right? No, and I had no contribution. I was not in the film. I was not. I had nothing to do with it. But you can't work here anymore. You can't work here. So if you don't, you don't. But if you do, you do. And it's honest. It's more honest. So what I provided for you in your packet is something that, in the interest of time, I'm not going to be able to. I had 2 samples of fierce conversations. They're just things that I've worked with. The first one is about a teacher talking to a student teacher, and the second is an administrator talking to an assistant principal. So these are samples. I wish I had more time because this is just something I really, really love. I think it's so important.